Tonight, a 7 News cameraman helped save a home from a fire. A severe heatwave warning for the coast. Stephen Miles sworn in as our 40th Premier. And new emergency housing in Noosa.
Live from the Sunshine Coast, this is 7 News with Rob Brough.
Good evening. Thanks very much for joining us. A Markoola couple have narrowly avoided being homeless for Christmas thanks to the quick thinking of 3 witnesses, including our 7 News cameraman. Brendan West was filming at the airport when smoke began curling from a nearby house, and the Rural Fire Service volunteer leapt into action.
In the right place at the right time. After spotting smoke coming from this Markoola property, 2 tow truck drivers and a 7 News cameraman didn't hesitate to help.
It's the kitchen.
And with no one at home, there was no time to waste. Brendan West from Channel 7, who is also a rural fire volunteer, armed himself with a garden hose and charged towards the flames. Before the Clayton's towing crew barrelled in with the extinguisher.
Yep, go. I've knocked this out. Come, go in.
But they could only do so much with the tools they had.
When the fires get here, tell them it's in the roof.
There was a pot on the stove that had taken off up into the ceiling.
The kitchen was left charred and the door broken.
We made the decision to, sorry to the owners, but break into your house and check if you were there.
But their quick thinking saved this family home.
Training and instincts just kicked in and I just lended a hand where I could.
The homeowners eternally grateful for the 3 witnesses who knew exactly what to do after years working beside emergency services.
If you guys hadn't come along, it would have been far worse. So thank you.
Tiani Reid, 7 News.
Yeah, good on you boys, great job. Stephen Miles has been sworn in as our 40th Queensland Premier this afternoon after a unanimous Labor Party vote. The former deputy is promising a fresh government and fresh approach with the largest frontbench shake-up in almost a decade.
In front of his wife and 3 children, the boy from Brisbane was officially sworn in.
John Miles, I'm pleased to appoint you to be Premier of Queensland.
Cameron Dick will be his right-hand man as Deputy Premier. Both received a standing ovation. Mr Miles had the full support of his Labor caucus, who voted unanimously.
Well, this is a fresh government with a fresh approach.
The 46-year-old, who studied journalism and politics, has his sights set on making a change.
I'm a suburban Queensland dad with 3 kids, and so many Queenslanders are like me.
A slogan he'll be taking to the election.
We are the underdog, and that puts some pressure on our opponents to answer some of the tough questions that they've got away with not answering.
Queenslanders didn't decide Stephen Miles was going to be Premier. There was a dodgy deal done between Stephen Miles and unelected union officials.
It's hoped a team of fresh ministers will deliver for Queensland.
5 new ministers, the most number of fresh faces in a government since we were elected in 2015.
Caitlin Steadman, 7 News.
A severe heatwave warning has been issued for us here on the Sunshine Coast. Maximum temperatures are expected to reach the mid to high 30s over the next 3 days. The Queensland Ambulance Service is bracing for an increase in calls for help.
There's certain parts of our population that need to be extra cautious. So our elderly, our very young, babies and children, our pregnant and breastfeeding mothers.
And a reminder, we're also being urged to keep our pets cool. New emergency accommodation is on the way for women and children escaping domestic violence in Noosa. Womenkind Australia and the Salvation Army today signed an agreement to begin working on a new project next year.
Sealing a deal at the Salvation Army Noosa, these 2 life-changing organisations want to better the lives of women and children across the Shire.
But it's just breaking our heart to see how much this is increasing and does not discriminate.
Womankind raised $80,000 at a recent mayoral ball and have now dedicated that money to helping the Salvos build new homes for the region's most vulnerable.
We're always in the background, but we're very active.
All of it was a community, really a community effort, and we see the results of when a community comes together.
The plan is to build 12 new dwellings, 11 for women and children fleeing violent relationships, and another dedicated to providing counselling and support.
This project is going to cost over $4 million. We as a Salvation Army are committed to seeing this through. We're not going to take no for an answer. This is going to happen.
Construction is hoped to get underway in March or April next year, so the first families can move in by early 2025.
And hopefully this won't be the only house we help with. We hope to be able to continue.
This is the start.
It's the beginning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hataya Gripsky, 7 News.
And if you or anyone you know needs help, contact DV Connect on 1800 811 811. A controversial proposal to build light rail infrastructure through the Sunshine Coast has been scrapped. The state government announced today it's identified bus rapid transit as the preferred option for our region's public transport project, following a rigorous process. It's also expected to link with the direct Sunshine Coast rail line service to Brisbane. An Indigenous teenager is about to make history after she was accepted into the Qantas pilot training school. CJ Ranken already has 40 plus hours of flying time. Now she's hoping to inspire others to follow their dreams.
CJ Ranken feels most at home high above the clouds. The 17-year-old has big dreams to become a commercial pilot.
I had my first flight in Perth. My uncle bought a ticket for me to fly over Rottnest Island and that, and I really enjoyed the first time.
She has already completed 40 hours in a light aircraft, including 7 solo flights since her first flying lesson 2 years ago. Now she'll be moving from Darwin to Toowoomba after accepting a Qantas cadetship at Wellcamp Airport.
I feel proud of my culture and being the first female Indigenous pilot for Qantas, and I just want to inspire younger Indigenous females and also non-Indigenous females as well.
She'll start flight training in April next year for a Diploma of Aviation.
This is a great story and happening right here in Toowoomba. So much opportunity for people to make a great life for themselves. We all know what a great place it is. It's good to see the rest of Australia coming in here and reaping those benefits too.
CJ is already planning where she'll fly her family when she graduates as a commercial pilot in 2025.
Probably along the coast.
Ben Meehan, 7 News.
Good on you, CJ. Certainly inspirational, very special. We'll take a break in a moment. Our local students with 2 of the highest ATAR scores in the state. And the majestic world of seahorses likely to be a top choice for the school holidays. Nice having you with us here on 7 News. The police mounted unit will be patrolling streets across the coast over the next 3 days as part of Operation Secure It or Gift It. Officers are targeting opportunistic thieves during the holidays and checking that cars are locked.
Police will be contacting the owner of those vehicles and reminding them that their car is unlocked and they are in fact contributing to the problem.
Officers say they found 1 in 60 vehicles left unlocked over the past 2 weeks. 2 of our Sunshine Coast students have earned the right to celebrate after achieving the highest possible marks for ATAR. The pair are 2 of only 34 across the state to receive a score of 99.95.
13 years of hard work have finally paid off for these students.
Honestly, I didn't believe it. I kept reloading the page thinking that was a mistake.
Agneta from Matthew Flinders and Jesnik from Coolum State High both received top marks for ATAR, a 99.95.
Next year I'm going to UQ, hopefully, to do
Bachelor of Engineering and Masters of Engineering.
We need to remember that these students had COVID right in the middle of their education in those formative years, and the way they've handled it is just absolutely incredible.
15 other students at Matthew Flinders also achieved a near-perfect score.
They've been an outstanding group, and I think these results are well deserved.
But if you didn't quite get the results you were hoping for, don't panic.
There are many routes into university and to find your passion and your direction. So we can help you find that direction.
And some worthy advice for future graduates.
Try your best, but don't put too much pressure on yourself because that can really drain you.
Tiani Reid, 7 News.
And all of you who worked hard, I hope you got the score you're after. Now, records will likely be broken at the airport over the holidays as interstate visitors descend on the coast for summer. There will be plenty to do with attractions like Sea Life opening new exhibits just in time for the rush.
Searching for school holidays fun? Seahorse. These kids instead found something far more fascinating: 100 seahorses at Sea Life's newest display.
It's one of the largest collections of seahorse in Australia.
More than 100 visitors streamed through Seahorse Kingdom in its first hour today, a sign of a busy period to come for attractions on the coast.
We should really start to see a big pickup coming into the new week next week, which is really exciting to welcome our interstate guests to the region.
There's also Australia Zoo, Wildlife HQ and Aussie World, or the more than 100-kilometre coastline, all Sunshine Coast destinations and attractions bracing for a holiday rush.
From that peak period from the Boxing Day through to the second week of January, that's where the real concentration of visitation is going to be.
That peak period could also see records broken at the airport. 476,000 passengers are expected to fly in and out in December and January.
It's highly likely we'll see a new single-day record set during December and January. The airport team is ready. We're looking forward to welcoming all the visitors into the Sunshine Coast region. Just allow plenty of time to get to the airport and get through.
Jade Richards, 7 News.
Welcome, it's good to see you here, but you might have to find a shady spot over the weekend.
I was going to say, enjoy the beach, they'll be packed.
Yep, Australia's squad for the World Swimming Titles, Nath, is out.
It is indeed, Brough. Yeah, 5 Sunny Coast athletes have made the squad for February's meet in Qatar. We'll have all the details next. And it is official, the Australian Diamonds captain has signed with the Sunshine Coast Lightning. We'll hear from Liz Watson after the break. And welcome back. It's official, Australian Diamonds captain Liz Watson will be with the Sunshine Coast Lightning for next year's Super Netball season. The 29-year-old is regarded as one of the best mid-quarters in the world, and we caught up with the Victorian on her big decision late today.
Super Netball's worst-kept secret was finally revealed at 5 p.m. Liz Watson will be at the Sunshine Coast Lightning in 2024.
Huge decision for me. I've spent 10 years at the Vixens and then all of my junior netball at the Netball Victoria, and I've loved every single minute of it. So it has been a big decision that definitely took time.
The Australian Diamonds captain is already on the coast and is the club's first new signing since the contract window opened 2 days ago. It's arguably the biggest signing in Lightning history.
Liz's performance on the court speaks for itself. She's the most dynamic mid-quarter there is in world netball.
But will the Australian captain also be the coast's leader?
Look, we've still got to work through what our leadership structure looks like, but we're very fortunate to have leaders all across the court.
It's new for us. It's building new combinations, working out new environments, new venue, new coach, all that kind of stuff comes into it.
The Lightning also announced that Ava Black and Mahalia Cassidy have been re-signed.
She's one of the most underrated players, I think, in SSN. A real dogged defender, can play forward into the centre position as well.
More signings are on the way and expect some more diamonds.
Really excited about our list for 2024. We've got a great mix of experience and young, exciting athletes.
Meanwhile, the Super Netball draw was also released today. The Lightning will start their season at home against New South Wales Swifts on Sunday, April 14.
Small as it is, it's very intimate and it's very loud. So I'm excited to just firstly meet the fans and actually meet the community.
Luke McGarry, 7 News.
You're going to love it, Liz. Welcome to the coast. Now, 5 of our swimmers have been named in the Australian Dolphins team to compete at February's World Championships in Qatar. They are USC Spartans Abby Connor and Alexandria Perkins, St Andrews Perigians Isaac Cooper, with Spartan Bailey Armstrong and Noosa's Nick Sloman part of the open water team. Now, Cooper finished his Queensland Championship campaign last night with silver in the 50-metre butterfly. But the star of the night was St Andrews swimmer Ruby Storm, who won 3 multi-class finals in the session, the 50 butterfly, 100 backstroke and 200 freestyle. The Queensland side featuring 3 of our Scorchers are now 4 from 4 at the Under-19 Nationals following today's T20 action. The Maroons face their toughest test in this morning's T20 against Victoria Metro, where Scorcher Tara Staines top scored with 29 in the team's chase of 115. Went down to the wire though. Queensland brought up the winning runs with just 3 balls to go. This afternoon, they crushed the PNG under-23 outfit by rolling them for just 42. Scorcher Bonnie Berry took 2 for 6. Racing's underway at Caulfield Park tonight, and there's more action on Sunday. Here now with his best bets, it's Chris Nelson.
Thanks, Nathan. Double header at Caulfield Park this weekend. We're already underway tonight, and we've got another 7 races to get through on Sunday afternoon. Let's see if we can find some winners. Tonight, race 4, number 2, Toba. Now, this race jumps at 7:38 p.m, so plenty of time to get on. Looks the best bet of the night, closed off very strongly last start. Gets to 1,600 metres this evening, well drawn. Peak fitness third up. I think there's plenty of ticks there for Toba this evening. Sunday, as I said, 7 races, 12:59 kickoff. Race 2, number 1 pairing. Just ended up too far back here last start, then ran into all sorts of trouble on the home turn. Got to the outside late and really ran on strongly. Beat all bar the winner. I think can make amends on Sunday. And race 7, number 1 Gemeldi. Very good run in town first up. Certainly should have finished closer than that 0.7 length margin. He was held up in the straight. Big weight, but a big drop back in class also. Hopefully some winners there for this week. I hope you have a great weekend. Catch you same time, same place next week. Back to you, Nathan.
Good on you, Chris. I'll have to watch on 7+ on the beach because it's holiday time, Brough. I just want to wish everyone at home Merry Christmas. Enjoy the festive season. We'll see you next year, mate. Thank you.
Have a great break. Yeah, thank you, Nath. Another one going on holidays. Livio will join us with the weather in a moment. And Robbie's along with the surf report. We'll see you soon here on 7.
Good evening, Livio, Regano with tonight's weather. A heatwave warning's been issued for southeast Queensland for an extended spell of intense humidity as northerly winds develop in the wake of ex-Jasper. Afternoon and evening thunderstorms will be a regular feature of the daily weather during this period, some of which may be severe as they were in Brisbane this afternoon, so please stay abreast of warnings. Now, the current temperature trend is quite clear, exceptionally warm at night across the Sunshine Coast, but only inland towns like Gympie and Nambour are getting the really high max temps. Satellite loop looks pretty interesting. Firstly, up north, you've got to remember these cyclones, even once they're dead, they're still very powerful monsoonal low pressure system, which this one is. And it's just been absolutely hammering rain all day around North Queensland, despite the fact that the crossing was now 2 days ago. The system will eventually move into the Gulf of Carpentaria. Probably won't re-intensify into a cyclone, but it may. There's a small chance. Meanwhile, of course, these little puffy clusters of white clouds are thunderstorms, some of them severe. They got going early this afternoon near a trough, and 1 or 2 really nasty hail ones went through Brisbane. There's a chance we might get one here later tonight. So today's chart, the culprit of the storms is this inland trough. It's a long way away still, but of course that combined with Jasper is directing those humid, hot northwesterly winds ahead of the trough into Queensland, including us, and that's making especially our nights very warm. Tomorrow's chart, the trough moves a little bit further east. This is probably the most potent setup for severe thunderstorms in the afternoon, and on the outlook chart, more of the same. But more than anything, it's just going to be hot and humid, especially at night. So now the latest from the Weather Bureau, the boating forecast for sunny coast waters, north to northwest winds continuing through the weekend up to 25 knots tomorrow, easing slightly on Sunday, then shifting northeasterly for Monday. We're experiencing the exaggerated swing of the spring tide, even though it's 2 days since the peak, so beware of stronger than normal currents between high and low tide. Now for the southeast coast, a heat wave warning with potentially severe thunderstorms developing through the afternoon. Maroochydore 22 to 33 degrees, Nambour 34, Gympie 36, and looking ahead, hot nights and high humidity are the main drivers of the current heat wave, not so much the max temps. A slight improvement next week with at least 1 shower on most days. And that's another week done and dusted. Goodness me, only 1 more until Christmas. Have a sensational weekend. Drink plenty of water because it's going to be a warm one, that's for sure. I'm signing off for 2023. See you next year. Now it's over to Robbie Sherwell with the Surf Report.
Thanks, Liv. Well, it looks like we're going to have a few tiny waves across the coast beaches over the weekend. The swell is only going to be around that 1/2 to 2/3 of a metre from the southeasterly direction, about 9 to 10 second intervals. Now, we're expecting, according to the forecast, 10 to 15 knot nor'westers tomorrow morning, and then swinging northeasterly and getting quite strong, up close to 20 knots through the afternoon. On Sunday, the winds are supposed to be a fair bit lighter, light nor'westers and then swinging northeast through the afternoon, and only getting around that 10 to 12 knot mark. Now, the tides, they're very high at about 10:30 tomorrow morning, 11:30 on Sunday, anywhere between 1.9 and 2 metres. If you're out there looking for a wave, it does get that little bit better as the tide starts pushing back up again. So I'd say about 8 a.m. It's going to be those open beaches that are the biggest and more protected, up between Peregian and Sunshine, Urumba's worth a look, Twin Waters and the Kawana stretch. That's for surfing. For swimming, just remember, even though the surf is quite small, with these high tides, the ocean is a dangerous place, particularly as the tide starts dropping back out again. There's going to be a few really strong rips and currents. Pay heed to lifeguards' warnings and only swim between the red and yellow flags. Have a wonderful weekend across the coast beaches. Now it's back to you, Rob.
Wonderful, Robbie. Good on you, mate. Thanks very much for your company. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday night. Take care. Good night.